Please join me in welcoming Will.
Diane. Thank you. That helps, doesn't it, having my picture up there behind me? You know, last night's great snowstorm brought back a lot of memories for us all. But it actually reminded me, is there anything better than having a great neighbor? I came home and there was a case of beer sitting outside for me after a business event. And it was my 89-year-old neighbor who left me beer because I had been shoveling her out for a couple of, dozens of days, I guess. And that was wonderful. And then I come to work, and we've got this great big 99-year-old neighbor, or I'm not sure how old the Towson University is. 140, yeah, so a little bit older than my neighbor at home. But having great neighbors is really very important. And for us, it's really kind of in three areas at Baltimore County. Here as a physical neighbor in town, but in the areas that I'm working on in the economy and in jobs. So we play very nice together, and we're very excited you included us in your showcase. This is fantastic. In Baltimore County, we're very proud of how long we've been working together. The county executive was excited that I came over. Thank you, President Lusky and Dr. Chandler, for inviting us. But I wanted to just illustrate a couple of examples of how we're working together. And I won't be 20 minutes. I will be quicker than that. But I also have a bunch of team in the room. Could the folks from Baltimore County Economic and Workforce Development stand up or wave so that we see? Got a lot of folks. These are great people. We merged, county executive merged economic and workforce development agencies together, and he brought me in about 100 days ago, so I've got it all figured out now. We have 21,000 businesses. We're the largest job center. We have 830 or close to 30 residents. We're the largest residential center in the area. So we're a very big place. And having anchors right next door like Towson University are really important to us. He asked me to make our organization more demand-driven, and I think it really lines up with what you're doing at the university. I think we're in the same business. I think we're in the pipeline business of making sure that our economy thrives with really skilled people, and Dr. Grasmick is standing up a really key part of it with our educators and where we're going to make sure that our STEM economy thrives. But right here in town, we've got 56,000 people coming in, and I think some of the folks that were at the Towson Time event recently heard some great things about where Towson is transforming. But I wanted to just tell you where we're headed as a group and kind of tie them to this neighbor theme and jobs in the economy real quickly. I'm not doing PowerPoint. I know Bernie was disappointed. He likes when I do visual presentations, but I'm sorry, I'm not doing that, Bernie. We're doing three things in my agency. We're getting oriented around demand, supply, and how we operate as an agency. So for demand, that means meeting the specific needs of what our employers want and need today and tomorrow. And then we're orienting our supply. We do a lot of work in workforce for dislocated workers, and we're moving to a whole new set of people in the professional class that I'll tell you in a minute about what we're doing with Jeff Beeson's group and over in the professional school. But the other piece we do is matchmaking, and I think we're getting much better at being a matchmaker between what our employers need and folks that need to make a move in the workforce, whether they're young and emerging or they're career changers or they're entrepreneurs, making that match. I think that's a place we can get much better. We have 6 key industries that we focus on in the county, and if you listen to them, I think you'll hear a lot of Towson University in there. IT, health, advanced manufacturing. I was talking to Sydney and these guys over here that are working on where 3D printing is going in prototyping and manufacturing. That's a core segment for us in Baltimore County. Port and logistics and corporate and federal workplaces, a lot of the business school inputs are coming into those areas. So we overlap in places that we care deeply about where we're emerging and where we're growing. But let me start with our connections on the economy. So with Diane's group, we've been working in a number of places with the Division of Innovation and Applied Research. First, we're doing a lot with Frank in the TU entrepreneurship program that you just saw. We put a little bit of resources in, I would say, from the county, and we're trying to see how we can kind of double down on that bet. We need to support the ecosystem for entrepreneurs and startups in the county. I think everybody recognizes the city's doing a great job there, and I would like to see us doing a great job. We do some great things down at UMBC with our partners down there, and we have a lot of folks who would like us to be doing more with you all and the center corridor of the county. So we're jumping into that with Launchpad and other initiatives, so we're excited about that. We're also chasing down we got some of our state friends here. We're going after some very interesting state funding on the gambling money. If anybody's been paying attention to the video lottery terminal money, it's fantastic financing to help businesses in a corridor around the casinos. And we're trying to bring some of that money to Baltimore County and eventually these startup companies that are burgeoning here. Frank and I are talking about how we can get up into town with entrepreneurs and getting them side by side, even off campus. So we're doing a lot there. On the jobs and workforce side, I think we can do a lot more around internship. I was talking to Lori about that, and what we just saw with Kiva, with hockey. I think service learning, we can tie that better into what we're doing around workforce and getting people on their career paths a lot better. And with the College of Business in general, I see Lisa. Lisa was a student of mine. I taught here for a few years, 6 or 7 years ago in the College of Business. It's great to see you here. If you look at the investment that the county exec just announced yesterday at our budget, over $1 billion in schools, which lets you know right where his priority is. It's fantastic. That's pipeline. That's a core economic and workforce development investment. And you have 25,000 vital pieces of that in your workforce pipeline here as students. One of the interesting numbers that our department just put out to us last week was just in a small set of people that we helped place in jobs last year, it brought $27 million in salaries back to Baltimore County. And I think what we're going to try to do is a little bit more of that quantifiable data about our impact in workforce and become a little bit more of a known entity. I want to tell you about this creative project we've got going with Jeff and my workforce center. We serve a lot of folks that are in tough situations looking for jobs. We have a lot going on the east side with dislocated steelworkers. We've got 3 centers in east, west, and center. But we're looking to diversify and help people that are doing career changing. So with Jeff's team, Tammy and folks in his center, and my team out at Hunt Valley put together this personal branding initiative. Very, very interesting training. You know, how do you establish yourself in a niche market and really be seen using social networking, but also sort of branding yourself. And Jeff just ran over to tell me, you know, there's a couple people. We've only started with a couple sets of people. I don't know, 24 people have come through this. T-Rose already picked somebody up at a $100,000+ a year job, and First National Bank also picked somebody up. So we're actually working at the professional tier together with Towson, which is pretty exciting to me. We need to diversify what we're doing. So I think that's going to continue. We're going to be looking at a lot of different initiatives that are a little bit more flexible and not what we traditionally think we do at our job centers. And then lastly, back to our neighbor role with you all. When we presented, Mark Bem, I don't know if Mark's here, but Mark talked about that you all are investing $1 billion on this campus over 10 years, which is fantastic. And you match that with the $1 billion we're trying to put into public schools. That's a really good recipe for long-term support of one another and the economy. Right now, the county exec's got a laser beam on Towson's entertainment district, as he'll talk about it. We've got a few key projects opening, and he wants everything to go just right. And all the new people that are flooding into town, everything is hunky-dory and all good things. So he's been pulling together a team. He's got his whole department coming in to talk about security and lighting and public safety, and how do we make sure that your young people on campus get up the hill and back safely and in all great ways of turning this into an arts and connected city, really, a vibrant little city, which is where we're heading in town in Towson. And it's going to be a great Main Street. So I love that we're working together. I love that our executives are working together in the gang of 4 or 5 or whatever they call each other with GBMC and the other executives. But I think we're going to get closer together on our actual core missions. That's my intent in workforce, and we truly value this partnership, whether it's the cyber, or the education, or this training that we're bringing. So we're excited to be your neighbor, and we thank you for inviting us to your showcase. Thank you.